This is not a tale like the others. Of course, there is a beginning. There are brothers, a curse, an enchantress, and even a dragon. But the ending? The ending is up to you. Some will say it's sweet, others that it's sad. Perhaps it's simply true. But in the end, like all tales, this one begins with, once upon a time, 3 brothers, triplets, born on the same day, separated the same night because of a certain Madame Looney in the noggin, an enchantress, or so she claimed to be, a strange woman, poorly dressed by choice, who whispered incomprehensible things. She wore glasses without lenses, held an invisible notebook, and claimed she could read dreams. Some said she even wrote them, but one thing was certain: she loved to complicate things that worked just fine on their own. And 3 united brothers, who would have grown up, laughed and played together, far too tidy for her liking, so she separated them and sent them, each to a different world. The first was cast into the kingdom of Miraval, a land of mist and wonder, where names are forbidden. There, to name a thing is to freeze it, and to freeze it is to kill the dream. The second grew up here, in our world, the one of alarm clocks, math tests, and phones always at 3% battery at the worst possible time. He's 14. He looks at his shoelaces a lot, and even more often, her, always 2 rows ahead, as if it were on purpose. The third was locked away in the world of Seekan, a place with no magic, no surprises, no games. There, everything is sorted, analyzed, calibrated. People feel things, of course, but talk about them so much, they forget to live them. They debrief, they plan, they never dream. And it's when the middle boy nears his 14th birthday that he begins to feel something. 2 presences, familiar faces in his dreams, voices in his silences, and that's when everything begins. Well, almost. No, it really begins when she says hi, in a perfectly ordinary hallway between 2 classes. He could have replied. He should have replied. But he stands there, as if someone pressed pause, and suddenly the world shifts. She had said, hi, just that. One tiny word. And him, nothing. Not a word, not even a smile. Just 2 wide eyes and a jaw on strike. And that's when it started again. That strange feeling of drifting, like a soap bubble caught in a warm breeze. You know, that moment when reality tears just a little, just enough for another world to slip through. Not now, he thought. But in fairy tales, thoughts never stand a chance against magic, and in the blink of an eye, he slipped away. Miraval swallowed him whole. He landed in a sugary meadow, all pink and squishy, where the sky smelled like marshmallows. His brother was there, of course, already hiding behind a big rock that looked like a stone pillow. Eyes sparkling, he was pointing at the entrance of a cave, a dragon, a real one, snoring in its sleep and letting out a tiny flame with each breath. His brother wanted to charge, obviously, as always, the kind to jump into a pool without checking if there's water. But the hero, he hesitated. Maybe a brilliant idea could save them, a distraction, a clever plan. Alas, he was the only one who believed that. His brother was already running, waving a stick like a legendary sword. In front of them, the Cave of Wonders. Inside, a giant inflatable castle floating on a river of hot chocolate with candy fountains and a trampoline room. And right at the entrance, the dragon, as long as 3 buses, covered in scales, with a tail that went clang with every step, and a squinty eye that clearly said, "You come closer, you're toast." The attack was, well, quick and humiliating. The hero tried to blend into the grass, bush style. The dragon gave them a vexed look, as if they'd ruined its nap, and with a single swipe, it flung them into a bush full of feathers. That's where, covered in fluff and failure, he saw her, in the real world. She was looking at him, just for a second. Then she raised her eyebrows, the way someone does when deciding between cute and kind of weird. And then she walked away, like putting your phone away when nothing's worth liking anymore. In biology class, the teacher smiled with that well-known sadistic joy. Groups of 2, sort yourselves out. You've got 1 minute. And there it was. Let's be honest. An opportunity. A real one. She was alone. He was alone. And they looked at each other. Not for long, but just long enough for everything to feel possible. But you know the song by now, don't you? Just before he could say a single word, a strange vibration ran down the back of his neck. The floor vanished beneath his feet. Seekin pulled him in without a word. He landed in that grayish world, a world of forms and schedules. His brother worked there all day long, filing things and obeying orders he didn't understand. He hated that job, but he kept coming back every day, like returning to a nightmare with no way out. Here, holidays were sacred, or rather, supposed to be. His brother was tense like a stretched rubber band. He had booked his days off for July, weeks ago, but then Torben, the Commander Poppy's golden boy, requested the exact same dates. And Poppy, imagine a melon with a mustache, offered the classic unfair solution. Maybe you could kindly move yours to August. So yes, technically, the brother was in the right. He had the form, the stamp, the triple-signed digital confirmation. But as always, when you're dealing with someone powerful and petty, things get complicated. Just say no, said our hero. Seriously, it's not illegal to say no. You don't get it, the brother replied. Poppy decides everything here. The schedules, the easy missions, the training. If I annoy him, he'll stick me with bioslug recycling until the end of the year. So what? Would you rather keep the peace or actually have a life? You've heard that kind of conversation too, haven't you? And maybe you've been the brother. Anyway, the moment came. Poppy flashed his recycled cardboard smile. Torben crossed his arms with confidence, and the brother caved completely. A little nervous laugh, a vague sentence, and the classic, I can take August if it works for everyone. The soft tragedy of if it works for everyone. Sekin vanished. In his place, a teacher, a board, and 27 half-awake students. She had been paired with another boy. They were laughing. He sat alone, missed again. The school year was coming to an end. 3 worlds, 3 brothers, 3 failures. In Miraval's world, his brother had tried the impossible, rushing in headfirst. In Sakon's world, his other brother had calculated, planned, and still failed. And he, on Earth, had still said nothing. Not a word. Nothing. Just a polite, well-behaved silence. He was starting to get tired of it. Of failing. Of watching them fail. Of waking up each time with that bitter taste of a missed chance. He was fed up with helping his brothers stumble, as if his only role was to watch them crash into walls and politely applaud in silence. One morning, while the dreams hadn't quite faded, he caught his reflection in the bathroom mirror. He stopped. He saw himself, not like usual, not just a blurry face with messy hair. No, he saw all of himself. The too brave child from the wordless world, the overthinking adult from the passionless world, and himself, stuck in between. They weren't really his brothers, not truly. They were fragments, sketches, pieces of him. One showed who he had been, the other, who he feared becoming. And in the silence of the bathroom, something shifted. Not a grand revolution, no epic cry or divine light, just a thought, a simple phrase. Today, I'll do it. As the very last week of school began, that day he had decided he was going to talk to her. For real. No magic, no mission, just him and what he felt. And you? Do you believe in happy endings? He had finally made up his mind. He was going to sit next to her. He was going to be brave. But as you know, in stories, just like in life, hesitating too long is like sending an invitation to the unexpected. The seat was taken. Someone else had sat down. A boy she clearly knew well, because her hand was already resting in his. Too late. End of the story. No. just another version, a version without him. He didn't cry, no. He understood, he accepted. He walked away, calm, like someone closing a book without anger. And you know what? I didn't see it coming either. He had grown up, just a little, and trust me, that's already a lot, because that's what adolescence is. A strange age between almost gone and not yet. It's where you learn that wanting isn't always enough, that acting too late sometimes means not acting at all, and that growing up also means learning to lose without losing yourself. And then there are the adults. Some never really left childhood behind. Not the one of candy and tree houses, but the one of tantrums and excuses of, it wasn't me, and I don't want to choose. Others, on the contrary, became so wise they don't dare do anything anymore. They traded their curiosity for certainty, their boldness for a neatly arranged schedule. But between the two, there's a path, and it's up to us, the grown-ups, to light it. Not to decide for them, but to walk a little way beside them, to tell them that becoming someone doesn't mean forgetting who they were, that growing up isn't a betrayal of childhood, and that the future, despite all the duties and timetables, can still taste like spontaneity. Our role isn't to tell them who to become, it's to make sure that as they move forward, they carry that light, fragile, precious, that still connects them to the child they once were. And then, between us, there will surely be another chair, another girl, another glance next year. Our hero doesn't know it yet, but he's going to fall in love again. Not right away, but one day, without warning, and he may hesitate again, or maybe not, because this time, he'll know himself better, because he'll have grown a little, matured, without rushing, and most of all, because he'll finally have accepted himself, fully, without trying to be someone else.